Squire, I must congratulate you.
But how could you, Lily? How could you?
I really don't know what you're talking about.
Well, to let him kiss you like that, and in public,
You make
too.
it sound as though he'd thrown me on the ground and ravished me.
Well, he might as well have done for the reaction it caused.
I suppose Bobby Peel told you?
No, he didn't have to. Everybody's talking about it, and about the way that he pawed you in the restaurant
I wish
afterwards.
people would mind their own business. What I do with my private life is entirely my affair.
Oh, no, it isn't. Not when you make an exhibition of yourself with a man like Baird.
Patsy.
No, Lily, don't take that tone with me. I've come here to talk to you, and you are going to listen.
Very well, but I didn't think Dominique wants to, do you?
Oh, sì, signora. Oh, no, naturalmente no, scusi. I'll wait outside.
Look, I'm sorry, Lily. We've been friends for a long time, I know, but have I ever interfered before?
No.
But I warned you about George Baird when you first met him. I remember when he first came to London, all that money and old Scott's title, he was considered more than just eligible. He was invited everywhere until people found out exactly what he was like.
You mean he wouldn't play society's game?
I mean, he refused to behave with common decency. Now, you remember Gladys Leslie?
The actress.
Yes, well, she thought he loved her until he thrashed her and started beating her around.
But that was years ago.
But do you think he's changed? That's not what I've heard. When he's been drinking...
Look, he
he's
doesn't
totally-
drink anymore. At least I've never seen him drunk. You know, you're right, Patsy. He's not like the other men we know. He's alive. He's free, not just a starched shirt with a title.
But there's not a decent house or family where he's accepted. And if word gets about that you've taken up with him, neither will you be. You will be giving up everything that you've worked for. Signora.
In a minute, Dominique.
He's here.
Evening, ladies.
Squire. Do you know Mrs. West?
I believe we've met.
Mr. Baird.
This is my friend, Charlie Mitchell, British heavyweight champion.
Yes, well, if you'll excuse me, I'll be running along. Lily, why don't you come over to lunch tomorrow? We'll continue our chat.
Yes, I'd like that. Dominique, will you see Mrs. West out, please?
Right, Charlie? I don't think she likes me much, that one.
My maid.
Patsy West. Snotty bitch.
To what do I owe the honor? Oh, you haven't come to see the play, have you?
No, thank you.
You could have my box.
Sharing you with 800 other people isn't my idea of amusement. I came to say that I'm going to pick you up afterwards.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
Can't?
I'm having dinner with the Sassoons.
Tell him you can't come.
It was arranged weeks ago.
Break it.
The Marquis de Sovrel is coming to pick me up. How can I?
Tell him you're not well. Would you rather be with him than with me?
I can't drop everyone because of you.
Why not? You care as much about those society snobs as I do.
If I tell Louis de Sovrel that I'm not well and he sees you here, what's he going to think?
I won't be here. I'll be at your house in Pont Street, waiting. You can get him to drive you home. I don't like waiting, so the quicker you get home, the better.
You really think I'll come?
I know you will, because I'll be there waiting for you to say thank you.
For what?
Close your eyes. Close them. You like it?
Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
You can thank me later. When you get home.
What's going on, Beverly?
Mr. Baird is here, madam, with one or two friends.
Friends?
I've served champagne, madam. They're asking for more.
Come on, man. It's 10 guineas to see your garter.
Lily, at last. Come on in. Join the party.
What do you stop for? Come on. What's the matter? That butler of yours bringing some more to drink.
Don't you think you've had enough?
What was that?
I don't mind entertaining your friends.
I'm glad to hear
This
it.
is not a saloon. They might at least behave in a civilized manner.
Your pardon, Mrs. Langtry. I believe you've met Mr. Mitchell. Jim Carney, welterweight. Miss Nancy Rawlings, the Camden Music Hall. I can't introduce Mr. Carney's protege. She seems to be fatigued. Now that I've introduced my companions, perhaps you might offer them a little more refreshment.
Please, Squire.
No. It does not please me, Lily. You've been less than welcoming, and that does not please me. Now, you order some more champagne before I get angry. Lily? Lily? What's got into you?
You really don't know. I come home expecting to find you alone and you fill the house with people like that.
So my friends aren't good enough for you?
If they were your friends, I'd accept them.
How generous. You accept other things, though, don't you? Like this. Isn't that enough to pay for a few drinks?
If you think you've bought me, here.
Here? Who wants it? And the rest of the stuff I've given you? There, you bitch! Now we're quits!
Good morning, Beverly.
Good morning, Mrs.
Is Mrs. Langtry at home?
Yes, madam, though she has not risen yet.
Oh.
Unfortunately, she is indisposed, madam.
Oh, nothing serious, I hope, Beverly. I was just calling to find out if she was coming to lunch.
I imagine that would be unlikely, madam.
Is Mr. Baird here?
Yes, madam.
I see.
Would you care to leave a message?
No, thank you. No message.
Good day, Mrs. West.
I got some of them back. Some of them were lost.
The necklace?
Lost.
In Charlie Mitchell's pocket.
Probably. You're a cool one. Coolest I've ever met.
I can't say you are.
I don't like to be crossed. Doesn't happen often.
I shouldn't think it does.
About last night, I had to get my weight down for the Morthorne steeplechase. I hadn't had anything to eat for 3 days. Shouldn't have been drinking. And about the necklace,
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I always settle my debts. It's a pigeon's blood ruby. It's the largest in captivity. That's what the jeweler said, at least. If he's lying, I'll have his guts. Well,
Oh, I've never seen anything like it. Look, there's a fire dancing in it.
that's not where I want you to wear it. I'm not sharing you with anybody, Lily. I want to marry you.
You don't mean it.
The moment I saw you, I wanted you. Not just wanted. I didn't know how much till I saw you in that play. I couldn't stand all those people watching you. I could have throttled them all.
You came to see Antony and Cleopatra.
And the other one, the other Shakespeare thing.
As you like it. Why didn't you say?
You're laughing at me.
No. No, well, why didn't you tell me?
I didn't understand the half of what was supposed to be going on. You'd have thought I was stupid. You haven't answered my question. Will you marry me?
I'm not free. I'm still Mrs. Langtry.
Divorce him.
I've been trying to for years. There are no grounds.
Then let him divorce you.
He won't. It's the only hold he still has over me.
I'll send Jim Carney and Charlie to have a word with him. He'll soon change his mind.
No.
Why not?
There's my daughter Jeanne-Marie. He still doesn't know she exists. I cannot risk that kind of scandal for her sake.
And your precious Prince of Wales.
Yes?
That's finished. That's all finished.
I hardly ever see him.
When we're married, you'll never see him.
Excuse me? Edward Langtry? Excuse me, it is Mr. Langtry, isn't it? Ned? Don't you remember me, surely? Clement Le Breton.
Clem, I didn't place you.
No, nor I you for a moment. Then when you turned away from you?
Instinct for self-preservation, old boy. Strangers usually only bring bad news. Well, well. Clem. Did Lily send you?
No. I just happened to be here on business. I caught sight of you in the town, and I thought to myself, surely that's Ned.
Where are you staying?
At the Dolphin and Anchor. I say, why don't you come and have some lunch with me?
Well, no.
We could have a drink first, if you like.
Well, it's a bit early for that, old boy, isn't it? Still, I could break my rule for once, I suppose. Why not? Yeah.
He'd already had the best part of a bottle of brandy, I'd imagine.
Poor Ned.
He almost finished another bottle before lunch. The worst thing was, none of it seemed to have any effect on him. He never became really drunk.
Ah, dreadful.
I don't suppose he's ever really sober.
But you spoke to him.
And listened. Mainly listened. There's no hope of a divorce, Lily. That's the one certainty in his otherwise aimless life, that you will be bound to him until you die. Or until he does.
He's only 6 years older than I am.
You wouldn't believe it if you saw him. So cheer up. Perhaps you won't have to wait so long.
You sound quite inhuman, Clem.
The legal mind, my dear. Gallows humor. That's better. Besides, being tied to him may have prevented you rushing into other assorted follies.
Shall I order the first course?
No, we're still waiting, Maurice, thank you.
As you wish, madame. Monsieur?
Smoking?
Yes, I learned in America for a part in a play. I quite enjoy it.
But here?
If they accept it in Delmonico's, why not here?
Who's that with Oscar?
Bobby Peel and Richard Le Gallienne.
Mr. Wilde, how delightful to see you, sir. How delightful to see you.
Oh, look over there, Oscar. It's Lily. Oh, yes. She seems to be turning herself into Lady Nicotine.
Ladies smoking in public is not done.
Not yet, my dear Richard, but the Lily is a setter of fashions. In a few weeks, half the smart women in London won't be able to be seen in the clouds of smoke.
Well, I certainly shan't.
I should hope not.
Oh, Oscar, I can't think why you defend her. She was beastly to you about your play.
I may not be speaking to her, Bosie, but that's no reason why I shouldn't speak up for her. The only thing wrong with my play, its only defect, is that she is not in it.
Lady Windermere's fan is a marvelous success, Oscar.
Oh, I totally agree. It always was. The only problem was if the audience would be.
I doubt that we shall be seeing Lily on the stage again.
Why not?
She has a new friend who does not approve of it. So she's given up her theatrical career.
Many men have wished for perpetual private performance. He is the first one rich enough to insist.
Enter King Rat.
And the two brokers' men.
Squire,
Who's this?
this is my brother Clement.
A lawyer.
Squire Abingdon. George Baird.
How do you do?
Wait in the bar. Well, what news?
Not good, I'm afraid. No divorce.
Lily said you could fix it.
I did what I could, Mr. Baird. I'm a QC, not a miracle worker.
Do you care to order, monsieur?
3 ounces of sweetbreads, boiled.
Very good, monsieur.
Is that all you're going to have?
I'm in training.
For what?
Squire's an amateur jockey. At least that's the name he rides under, Squire Abingdon, the best in England.
In Europe.
I see.
He also owns prize fighters and racehorses, and his main ambition is to win the heavyweight championship of the world from John L. Sullivan.
And I've got the man to do
And
it.
for one of his horses to win a race every day throughout the season.
For that, surely you'd need to own 80 to 100 racehorses. Ask a silly question.
You must come and see one of my stables.
It's very educational.
I'm breaking her in.
Yes, so I observe.
Prince of Wales is here, madam.
The prince?
He's waiting.
Bertie. You're in mourning.
It's Eddie. He died last night.
Oh, no. But the paper said it was a cold. Only a cold.
That's what we thought. Influenza. Turned into pneumonia.
Oh, my dear.
We were all there. The only one he recognized was Georgie.
How's Alex?
She refuses to accept it. She will not leave his room. May sits with her.
How has Georgie taken it?
Hard.
Why are you in London? Surely you're needed there.
There are arrangements to be made. I couldn't let anyone else. I would have given my life for his. My son.
Signora, Mr. Baird has arrived with his friends.
Where is he?
In the drawing room. He has heard the prince was here.
Has he been drinking?
Si, signora.
Tell him I have a headache and that I'm lying down, will you please?
Scusi, Mr. Baird, la signora has a headache and she's like...
He's a madman. You must tell him you'll never see him again.
I can't.
Don't ask me to believe you love him.
No, I thought I did at one time.
Lily, I'm your legal advisor as well as your brother. Now, you must break with him. He can be stopped by law.
What notice do you think you take of the law? If there's a fine, he'll pay it. If there's something more serious, one of the others will confess to it. Mitchell's already spent time in jail for him before now.
Half your servants have walked out, and they've been with you for years.
Yes, well, I miss Beverly, but I still have Dominique.
You've lost most of your friends.
Friends? Yes, I miss two of them. As for the others, they left me once before when they thought the prince had finished with me. They soon came back.
If he drops you now, you'll be ruined.
Don't worry, Clem. The more jealous and violent a man is, the sorrier he is afterwards.
He settled £100,000 on you.
You hurt me very badly. It made me feel insecure.
A house? Jewellery? Milford and Swansdown girl? What are they?
Racehorses.
Where will you keep them?
In his stable. I have no intention of paying for their upkeep.
You're incredible. You have the money already?
In my bank. I'm transferring some of it to America. That's why I wanted to see you.
Yes.
I want you to go to California and sell the ranch for as much as you can. Abe Hummel has written to me about some property in Chicago and Los Angeles. A very good investment. You should have enough money to buy it.
Does Baird know about this?
Why should he?
Where is he?
Attending to family business in Scotland for 6 blessed weeks.
What will you do?
I'm going to Jersey to see Jean-Marie and then to Paris for some clothes.
Capital. When are you leaving?
The day after tomorrow. After the first night of Oscar's new play.
You're going to it? You two haven't spoken to each other for 2 years.
And he should have learnt his lesson by now. Besides, he's far too successful to bear grudges.
Thank you. You're too kind. I must agree it was quite superb.
But what do you think the critics will say, Oscar? They complained that in Lady Windermere's fan there was too much talk and not enough action.
My dear Richard, I've written A Woman of No Importance specially for them. In the first act, there is absolutely no action at all. It is perfect.
And where have you been hiding yourself?
Lily.
Now, is there anyone here that you know?
No one that I'd care to.
Come over here and meet some old friends.
Sorry, Patsy. Lily, how wonderful to see you.
And you, Bobby.
May I introduce a friend of mine, Hugo de Bath?
How do you do?
I've been looking forward to meeting you.
Mrs. Langtry, have you rejoined the land of the living? We see far too little of you these days.
Posey, I shall always regard you as the best critic of my plays.
But, Oscar, I have never criticized your plays.
That's exactly why.
I don't believe it.
What in particular?
It's Mrs. Langtry. Everyone's cutting her except for Mrs. Cornwallis West and her friend.
It's the height of impudence for her to come here.
On the contrary, my dear Posey, it's the height of courage.
Sir, Your Highness, may I present Mrs. Langtry, Prince Paul Lester?
Thank you, Mr. Knowles, but Mrs. Langtry and I have already met. Some years ago in Vienna, with the late Count Prince Rudolph.
Of course we did, Your Highness. We dined in the Prater.
I could not be more flattered that you should remember.
Mrs. Langtry's memory is almost as remarkable as her beauty. Am I to assume that you've been to my play?
Nothing could have kept me from it.
Did you like it?
No. I adored it. I wasn't invited to your party.
Since when have you needed an invitation? Divinity. I shall sleep better tonight than I have for 2 years. I've missed you.
And I you.
When can I come and see you?
In a week or two.
Why so long?
I'm going to Jersey and then on to Paris.
Oh, if only I could come with you. A goddess needs an imp in attendance.
I'm quite happy to be on my own. I've been plagued by devils.
Oh, Lily, Lily, you are eternal.
Here we are.
I can't get over meeting you like this. I had no idea you were even going to be in Paris.
Worth's making me some new gowns. Sarah Bernhardt. I told her I'm here to rest. She keeps inviting me to parties. Would you like some tea, Bobby?
Oh, rather, please. Quite comfortable here, isn't it?
Yes.
What luck, us both being in the same hotel.
Is it?
Am I so transparent? Yes, I found out where you'd be staying. Booked myself in. You knew?
I guessed.
You don't mind?
Why should I?
Well, I was hoping to show you a bit of the town.
Well, I do know it quite well. And I am here to rest.
Oh. Well, wouldn't it be possible for us to have dinner at least?
It might.
Oh, I say, that'd be marvellous.
Who the hell's this?
Squire, I thought you were in Scotland.
So it seems. What's he doing here?
This is Bobby Peel. He's an old friend.
I don't give a damn who he is.
You appear to have the wrong idea, Mr. Baird, although I don't care for your tone.
Don't you know what I say?
Oh! No! Squire! Squire! No! No! Ah! God, no!
You bitch!
No!
You dirty
no!
bitch! Dirty! Dirty! Bitch!
Francis.
Carefully. You're
so...
I shouldn't have disturbed you. I had no idea it was so bad.
It's criminal, Mr. Knowles. Oh. Criminal.
Thank you.
You must not tie yourself, Cara. What is true?
I was at Biarritz with the Prince of Wales. We read in the papers what had happened, and he suggested I came up to see you.
Oh, that was kind.
When were you allowed out of hospital?
This morning after Dominique arrived. I feel more comfortable with her than with the nuns.
And Baird did that. He should be put down like a mad dog.
I intend to see that he is.
I've heard that he's been arrested, that he's being held without bail.
The police think it necessary for my protection.
Yes, the British consul said he's to be charged either with deadly assault or intent to murder.
It hasn't been finally decided yet.
Inevitably, since it concerns you, this affair has caused a great deal of comment. There have been headlines all over the world. The prince is concerned that it shouldn't get out of hand.
Oh. In what way?
The gutter press can hardly be restrained. A sensational trial would be bound to lead to scandalous publicity and allegations concerning other people, damaging to the country. Robert Peel's already agreed not to press charges.
Ah, and now I'm being ordered not to.
Oh, not ordered, oh no. However, it would be more than appreciated if this affair could be allowed to blow over with no additional complications or fuss. The Prince of Wales realizes, of course, that if you were to bring a charge against Baird for assault, you could expect to receive considerable damages.
Yes, he might have killed me.
Quite so. In view of that, it might be possible to make up for some of your financial loss.
That will not be necessary.
Then I may tell the Prince?
That I will not press charges.
To think that man should just be allowed out of prison, free. Oh, non capisco più niente.
What's that?
It's a box, signora.
What's inside?
You've waged the most successful month's campaign of your life, my dear.
How was your meeting?
He is now so desperate for you to forgive him that he'll agree to anything. The White Lady. She's a steamship, basically, 750 tons. She has a crew of 31, not including the officers. I have the papers here. She is yours, together with a cheque for £50,000 for her upkeep and the crew's salaries, provided you agree to see him. In addition, if you agree to forgive him, he's prepared to make you principal beneficiary under his will. That means, should anything happen to him, you would be left between £1 and £2 million. There's nothing more to hold out for. It's far more than any court would have awarded you.
Oh, it's not just the money, Clem. I couldn't go back to that life we've been living. I never want to see any of his drunken bullies again.
You'd agree to that.
And there's Jeanne-Marie. The last time I saw her, I realized we were nearly strangers. I'd like to bring her and Mother to London, but can you imagine the kind of life she'd live with Squire?
I see.
Whatever terms we reach, he would have to agree never to drink when he was with us, never to do anything that would frighten or even worry her. If he did, I would be finished with him at once.
I'm sure he'd accept even that rather than lose you. You have him exactly where you want him.
Then I think I may forgive him. I've always wanted a yacht. And this one's even bigger than Bertie's.
That bastard Corbett.
What?
Gentleman Jim Corbett, he's beaten Sullivan.
Have you been drinking?
Oh, stow that, Lily. This is important. The heavyweight championship of the world. It should have been Charlie's.
I could have taken John L.
No question.
Just because Charlie spent a few months in jail, the Yankees wouldn't let him fight. Well, we'll see.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Go over there. I booked for us all. We leave in 2 days.
I can't just walk out to the play.
We'll be in the States for a while. I'm staying till they let Charlie have a match with Gentleman Jim. Stake as much as all those Yankee gamblers put together. You join us as soon as the play's finished.
Yes.
You better, or I'll come and fetch you.
Signora Bella, your brother, Mr. Le Breton, is here.
Yeah. What time is it?
I'm sorry, Lily, it couldn't wait. I've just had a telegraph from Abe Hummel. Prepare yourself. Squire's dead.
Dead?
In New Orleans. Apparently he arranged for Mitchell to fight Corbett, then went on a 3-day drinking bout. He collapsed, but refused to see a doctor, even though it turned into pneumonia.
Dead.
Don't take it too badly, Lily. We mustn't be sad, Aunt Emily.
I'm all right, Jeanne, I'm all right.
No, I rather liked him.
So did I, Mother.
But surely this will make quite a difference to your circumstances.
Yes. Perhaps he's left me something.
Oh, that would be nice.
I'm sorry it's taken so long.
Uncle Clem.
Hello, Jeanne. Would you run along, please, my dear?
Jean-Marie, find out that thing, Chaton. We can work on it together, yeah?
What did the solicitor say?
The new will. The one leaving everything to you. He forgot to sign it. His whole estate's been left in probate for his mother and some cousins' children.
All of it?
Lock, stock and barrel. We could make a claim, but his solicitor says they'll fight it. We wouldn't have much of a chance. Oh, yes, and those 2 horses he gave you. We've been ordered to remove them from his stables immediately, or they'll be sold to cover expenses.
What happened?
Lily's just lost a fortune, Mother, and it's partly my fault. I should have checked everything was in order before Baird left for America.
You can't blame yourself, Clem. Don't fuss.
Nearly everything you have's invested. It's not a good time to sell. You'll have to economize.
But we could move to a smaller house.
I have no intention of moving, Mother.
What will you live on?
My last play did well. I'll find another one. And I can hire out the yacht to someone.
Yes. Well, you'll still have to be careful. There are those 2 horses, for example. What do you want done with them?
I'll race them.
Race them.
It's the only way to find out if they're worth keeping.
It's not possible, Lily. You can't race under Baird's colours anymore.
Then I'll find some of my own. Fawn and turquoise.
Be sensible, Lily. The Jockey Club doesn't allow women owners.
It's not against the law, Clem. I'll call myself Mr. Jersey. And then who's to know?
I find myself impressed, though I cannot imagine why you call it a racing box, my dear Mr. Jersey, when it's more like a country house.
It's useful to have somewhere so near Newmarket and my stable.
As I can see that, you've made an astonishing success with your Gigi's. A whole new career. May I? It is not that I'm addicted to alcohol, unlike the late Squire Abingdon and your husband, Ned. But I'm told that champagne stimulates the intellect.
You've made a great success also. 2 plays running at the same time.
Yes, I quite resent the brilliance of the importance of being earnest. It makes the public forget everything else I've written. How wonderful to have somewhere like this to escape to.
Well, there are times when one has to escape.
You and I suffer from the same prejudice, my dear Mr. Jersey.
Exactly. But you needn't.
I was wondering when you'd bring that up.
Oscar, all your friends are deeply worried. You cannot go ahead with this case against Queensbury.
But I must. He has grossly insulted me.
However unpleasant and vile he is, the fact still remains that he is Bosey's father.
Have you any idea how that father treated his children? And now he's turned on me. He left an open card at my club, addressed to Oscar Wilde, posing as a sodomite.
You will say it was justifiable.
It is unutterably offensive.
Your relationship with Bosey is entirely your affair, with which no one should have the right to interfere. But don't you see? It will not be Queensbury, but you, your life, your work, your relationships that will be on trial.
I must go on. I am not afraid to appear in court.
Have you thought of the effect on Bosey?
It is because he begged me that I'm suing his father for libel. It is the only way that I can protect him and stop these rumors.
I return to this letter, Mr. Wilde, which you wrote to the Marquis of Queensbury's son, Lord Alfred Douglas. Is it a proper letter to write to a young man?
I was not writing an ordinary letter. It is a poem. You might as well cross-examine me as to whether King Lear or a sonnet of Shakespeare was proper.
Apart from art, Mr. Wilde.
I cannot answer apart from art.
Suppose a man who was not an artist had written it, would you say it was a proper letter?
A man who was not an artist could not have written it.
I can suggest, for the sake of your reputation, that there is nothing very wonderful in this red rose leaf lips of yours.
A great deal depends upon the way it is read.
Your slim gilt soul walks between passion and poetry. Is that a beautiful phrase?
Not as you read it, Mr. Carson. You read it very badly.
Yes, well, they've arrested Oscar last night.
But I thought he was willing. Whatever happened?
Well, exactly what we were afraid of. Queensbury's counsel, Edward Carson, brought up witnesses Oscar didn't dare to face. So he had to drop his case.
Oof, and that proved the accusation against him was true.
Oh, yes, of course it did. Still, at least they've given him bail. Jean, I thought you were with Mr. Grundy's daughter.
I was.
Are you all right?
Margie said, "Why do I call you Aunt Emily?" And she heard her parents say that... Or my mother.
So, now she knows she's your daughter. How did she take it?
Quite well, really. She cried a little and then she kissed me. Said she'd always thought there was something between us. Well, I'm glad she knows at last.
How much did you tell her?
Only that I'd had to pretend because of my career that she was born after Ned and I had separated.
So she thinks that he's her father?
Oh, I couldn't tell her about Prince Louis. No. It would have been too much. Later, perhaps later.
Yes. Well, that settles one thing. Now you'll have to get that American divorce. Jeanne's too young to keep it secret that you're her mother. Soon, not just a few people, but everyone will know.
And ruin what's left of my reputation.
The real risk of scandal's over. There may be some speculation about the father. That doesn't matter. But Ned does. He knows nothing about her. As soon as he hears, he's going to think of the worst possible thing he can do to hurt you by taking her away from you, which legally he can.
Yes, I know. What do you advise?
You're a United States citizen. The proceedings for desertion you started in California can be quietly reopened. Arrange a theatrical tour to America. When you get to San Francisco, we'll have the case heard in camera and make sure you get full custody of Jeanne. With luck, it may not even leak to the press.
Mr. Wilde, Signora.
Thank you for your invitation.
Oscar.
There are not many doors still open to me. Forgive me, I thought you would be alone. If you would prefer me to leave...
You would put me to shame, Mr. Wilde.
We want to do whatever we can.
There's nothing to be done.
Oh, but there is. You must get away.
I would not be allowed to.
On the contrary, Mr. Wilde, you were given the chance to leave the country before you were arrested. The fact that you have now been given bail for these 4 days means the authorities probably would prefer this unfortunate trial not to come to court. It's unlikely you'll be stopped.
I'm leaving for America shortly. If you like, I could leave at once. And you could come with me. Then go to France.
No.
Why not?
For one thing, I'm bankrupt. It's impossible. No, Lily, I can't.
Please. Keep it. If you don't go away, there will be expenses at the trial.
Divinity.
Mr. Wilde, you're certain to be convicted. I cannot understand why you will not take the chance to escape.
I hear Bosie's in France already.
He must fulfill his destiny, and I mine. The Christians demand a sacrifice. Forgive me, I will disgrace myself if I stay. Do you remember, Lily? Once I said that one day you and I would commit a great folly. It was I who did, by not leaving my heart in your keeping.
During 1893 and 1894, you were a great deal in the company of Lord Alfred Douglas.
Oh, yes.
I must bring your attention back to this letter, Mr. Wilde. You mention the love that dare not speak its name. What is that?
The love that dare not speak its name in this century is such a great affection of an elder for a younger man as there was between David and Jonathan, such as Plato made the very basis of his philosophy. It is that deep affection that is as pure as it is perfect. It dictates and pervades great works of art like those of Shakespeare and Michelangelo, and those two letters of mine, such as they are. It is in this century misunderstood, and on account of it I am placed where I am now. It is beautiful. It is fine. It is the noblest form of affection. There is nothing unnatural about it. It is intellectual, and it repeatedly exists between an elder and a younger man when the elder has intellect and the younger man all the joy, hope, and glamour of life before him. That it should be so, the world does not understand. The world mocks at it and puts one in the pillory for it.
The evening paper, Signora. I leave them here?
Mother.
Oh, yes, dear, what is...
Where's Jan?
She's at the Grundys, I think.
My house, I tell you, will you kindly tell her that I'm here? If you don't mind... Lily, will you kindly tell this fellow who I am?
Very well, thank you.
There you are, see? This cheek. Now, then, you owe me an explanation.
I owe you nothing. Everything between us has been said.
Oh, just you think again, my fine lady. I've had reporters coming to speak to me, asking me questions about... Guess what? Our divorce. I told them I knew nothing about it.
You were served with a citation.
Yeah, I threw it on the fire.
The divorce is still perfectly legal.
No. Not in this country. You try to marry again in England, and you'll be committing bigamy.
I have no plans to remarry.
Yeah, it's just as well. What else did they ask? Oh, yes. About my daughter. My daughter. Much as it grieves me to hurt my wife, I told them, I didn't know she'd given birth to a child until this moment.
Quite deliberately.
Yes, I'm sure. Well, where is she? My daughter.
You'll never touch her, Ned. You'll never even see her.
She's my child. I want her to live with me. I know the law.
I'm an American citizen now. That law doesn't apply.
American?
It's an American divorce. I have full custody. You've wasted your journey.
It's not true.
I'll still pay your allowance, but only on condition that you never come here again. If you do, it'll stop at that moment.
But I want more. I need more. I want you to pay. You'll never marry again. Not in this country. You'll never be free of me, never.
Cramps gone?
Huh?
What was your name again?
Landry. Ed.
Ed?
What?
What is this place?
Edward, was it?
What am I...
Come along, man.
You can't keep me here. I'm a gentleman.
Yes, yes. Now, where do you live?
I may not look like... You speak to my wife.
Your wife?
Yes. Langtree. Lillie Langtree.
Oh, you're married to Lillie Langtree, are you?
Yes.
I see. And what were you doing on the railway track where you were found?
Track? I was going to Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah. Or coming back, I don't...
On foot?
No. Look, you speak to my wife. She'll sort it out.
Mrs. Langtree?
Yes.
Well, settle down. I'll see you again tomorrow.
I don't like this place!
And I suppose you can ring up on that thing, get the latest odds without even having to leave home.
Well, something like
You have had a very good week, Mr. O'Brien.
Not too bad, sir. Well, I've certainly done well backing you. Do you make a lot of money at this racing game, then?
Well, Hugo, there's no such thing as a racing certainty.
Now, what about the Cesarovich? Do you still say that Merman will win it?
Oh, I wish he could. To win the Cesarovich and Diamond Jubilee year, that would be something to remember, wouldn't it?
He's still improving, Mrs. Langtree, but I'm not optimistic.
Well, I'll back him anyway. I like him.
Good for you. If Lillie actually won, what would the Jockey Club do?
That remains to be seen, sir.
If we could only improve his performance by just a few seconds, I'd feel more confident.
Yes, I've been thinking about that. I was talking to Lord Beresford the other day, who happened to mention that in Australia, where Merman comes from, they usually run the horses unshod.
Really? He wasn't joking?
Apparently not, so what do you think?
Letting him race without shoes? Well, that's up to you, Mrs. Langtree.
Well, if he has no chance of winning at the moment, we really have nothing to lose.
Supper is ready now.
Oh, splendid. I'm starving.
So am I.
Well, why don't you all go in? It's a cold buffet, so just help yourselves. Please, I'll join you in a minute. I just have to telephone the stables about Merman. Run along, Hugo.
I'd rather wait for you.
You're really much too young to speak to me like that.
And you're really much too pretty to speak to me like that.
Hello? Regal Lodge, yes, Mrs. Langtree speaking. Yes, that is my husband's name, my ex-husband. Possibly. Yes, he does have relatives in Ireland. I'm sorry, where are you speaking from? Chester? The Countess Island.
Yes. Yes, that's him.
I don't even mind my own horse being beaten, Mr. Jersey. Well done, my dear.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to take you to the Jockey Club, where we shall toast the winner of the Cesarovich.
Oh, will I be allowed in?
Just let them try and stop you.
Excuse me, sir. The dispatch, Mr. Le Breton. May I ask for a comment?
I'm delighted my sister's won.
Well, haven't you heard? It came through an hour ago. Mr. Edward Langtry has just died in Chester Asylum. I understood Mrs. Langtry had been told. Would she still have let her horse run?